Hey everybody, welcome back to Laptop Seniors. Today it's all about retirement as always, and I'm going to go through the ways that people retire, and I'm going to add one more in that most people don't think about. And I think it's an important one to know about, so I'm going to sort of open your mind up if you're not aware that you can do this. And usually you don't see it in a lot of places. Like this is only the second one we've ever seen in Panama that does what I'm about to describe to you. And the first one was in the Marriott, which used to be the old Trump Hotel. Now it's the Marriott over in Punta Pacifica. And they were used units where, you could buy the unit and the hotel would rent it for you, okay? Because, it's a hotel. I haven't seen any other one, but then we came across this, and I'm going to explain it to you. And then right here on the screen, right there, okay, you see that time? That's where the financials of this are going to be, okay? And I'll go through, what the payments are and all of that sort of stuff. Let me make this clear up front though, right out of the gate. We get nothing for this. We're not getting paid for it. And we're definitely, not sponsored or anything. We just happened to cold call a guy because we saw his name on dopanama.com and he was involved in some real estate projects. We didn't quite know what that all entailed. So we called him. His name was Austin Hess. And he was super gracious with us, super nice, and took us out to a building that you're going to see in Costa del Este. So if you're interested in Costa del Este in any way, you're probably going to like this video because you'll see the drive from Panama City. It's a quick 10-minute drive, beautiful drive. And then we rode around in Costa del Este a little bit, and then you see from out of the windows, and you see a lot of a building that is going to be just like the building that I'm going to be talking about right now for you, which is the opportunity that he was describing, okay, for what's coming up. Okay, so that was pretty opaque and didn't really say a whole lot. It's just kind of teasing you along. All right, so this is what this is, okay? People usually retire, they go to a country and they usually rent and live there forever, okay? Or they go and they rent and then they buy and live there forever. Or they snowbird. This is one other way of actually doing that. Certainly snowbirding, very, very easy. But also for the second one I mentioned about actually owning a place, this is a way of actually buying a place and only really paying maybe out of your own money a third of the cost of it. So, but time is involved. So let me explain what's going on, okay? Austin is representing a group, a builder group called Burn Group, and they own a bunch of hotels in downtown Panama City. Really beautiful hotels, the Intercontinental, Holiday Inn Expresses. They own a couple resorts. They're probably, I don't know this for a fact, and it doesn't really matter because I'm more educating you on the idea of this whole thing than actually trying to sell you anything, because I'm not trying to sell you anything. My guess is they are for sure one of the top 5 builders in Panama. They may actually be the top builder in Panama. And the only reason I'm mentioning that as a guess, you might want to check that out, is because this is not going to be a fly-by-night operation. This is a big company, with, I think they got 9 giant hotels and resorts and things like that, in addition to other stuff, okay? So here's what this is. There's a new building being built 3 blocks from the ocean. So it's ocean, Ave Balboa, one other street, boom, this building. And it's a pretty luxurious building. As you'll see when we go through the one in Costa del Este, you go like, wow, this is pretty spectacular build. And there's a lot of cool things in this building. Same stuff's going to be in this other one that, about to tell you about right now. The building right now is just land, butting right up against the Waldorf Astoria, boom, and this is the new building right here. Okay, cool. So here's how it works. There are certain time frames where you need to give them money, okay? When you do the contract initially, you're going to put a percentage down. And then after a year, you're going to throw another percentage down. The year after that, another percentage down. Then they're going to finish off the building itself. It's done, ready to move in. You give them another percentage down, or the whole amount for that matter, if you want to just pay it off. At that point, that's going to be roughly 3 years from now, 3.5 years from right this moment. Because 2028, 2029 is when this is sort of earmarked to be done, move in, ready, and all that good stuff. But here's where it gets really interesting. From that point on, the burn group will carry your mortgage. Now, I can't stress this part enough because we went through it when we were talking with Mariana, our lawyer, that we went through a couple of videos back. It's really difficult for a foreigner, even for locals too, actually, but for a foreigner to get a mortgage in Panama, very difficult. They're going to carry you, the builders of the building, okay? They're going to carry you for 5 years at whatever prevailing rate, the interest rate is at that time. If it goes higher, okay, well then you're screwed. If it goes lower, golden. And plus, you're not going to take over for 3 years. So you have 3 years, hopefully, of appreciation of the building itself. So by the time that you move in, maybe the price is going to be another 40 grand higher. Who knows? And, again, I'll go through that at the end when, again, at this time frame, from the little bit of due diligence that we did, that's the starting point. One bedroom, it's comparable to everything else around it that's old already. If you're younger and let your mind reel a little bit of some opportunities, maybe go through them just a little bit right now, real quickly. It's like, you're very young and you want to retire in Panama, and you buy this thing. 3 years later, it's yours. It starts to be rented. Perhaps you finally retire 4 years after that. You're now 7 years out or 8 years out. You decide to pull the plug and move to Panama and rent, and retire. And your place, because of the rental, may already be paid for. You just move in, boom, done, and that's it, and stop renting. Or you just want it for income, or you're snowbirding now because you can, and maybe you go for vacation a couple weeks a year in the wintertime, maybe come down in January or February, enjoy the hot weather, and you go back to where you were rather than going to Florida or some other place. And the rest of the year it's rented, and you're doing 9-10% somewhere in there as a return of your investment, which is a pretty good income, okay? So that's pretty much it for this. Let's go to the video, and we're gonna start out with Austin in his car driving us to Costa del Este to show us the building that's already built. It's roughly a 10-minute drive. If you get to see, the causeway, it's a really pretty drive, and you get to see it. A lot of people like to see our videos when we're in a car and we're driving, and you get to get a feel for everything. You get to feel what it's like to drive from downtown Panama City, right down in the heart of Panama City, out to Costa del Este, drive around Costa del Este a little bit, get a feel for what's there, and then certainly inside the building and everything that Austin talks about, because from basically this point on, I let him just do all the talking. We ask him the questions here and there, but for the most part, it's him doing a sales pitch, okay?
yes, there's some people that have political differences. Yes, there's people that are, but everybody's like-minded enough to say, hey, home wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
I want to live in the tropics. I want a different, exciting lifestyle. And so you have this, you know, you just have a unique genre of people that do call Panama home now, whether it's full-time or snowbirding. And yeah, it's...
and usually have money with them.
It's
pretty much, and especially if you're retired. I mean, just by definition, you can't get a visa.
You sell your house for $1 million, 800,000 in the U.S. Come down here, you buy one for 200, 300,000.
Yeah, lots of cash left.
A few $100,000 in the bank. You're living good. You have a pension coming in, whatnot, some type of retirement fund. So yeah, there's definitely. If you notice, 10 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
So very close. Oh, also something so important. We were just talking. So that road we were just on.
Yeah.
We came in on a road, which there's a river here, so we couldn't drive back on that road.
Mm-hmm.
But there's two roads. We exited on the second one. Mm-hmm. The first one which is the one we were on, they're putting an exit there too, which is not that important because there's an exit 50 yards past it, but there's going to be an entrance. So now, right now, you'll see when we leave, we have to go all the way around, go under the underpass, and get over to the other side of the highway. Now you'll be able to jump right here, boom, boom. So it'll save you 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Nice.
I was actually filming over here yesterday, a really beautiful building. And I was just having fun with the contractors, talking to them in Spanish, practicing my Spanish.
Right.
And I say, hey, you know, like, are you going to be finished in 6 months? I say, yeah, more like 8 or 9. So it's not too far off either. It's not like it's 5 years out or 2 years out.
Mm-hmm. You're Spanish on a 1 to 10 scale. What do you think you are now after
Speaking?
13 years? Speaking, yeah.
Speaking, I'd say a 6.
Right.
Understanding, a 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny.
But yeah, no, the Spanish, I mean, you can get by here without speaking any Spanish at all.
For sure.
Yeah, we definitely have.
This is Austin Hess, and he has Do Panama, and he is going to show us the building here. And then you take it from here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Pat and Vivi. It's so awesome to meet you guys. I love your YouTube channel. And we are here in Costa del Este, and we're going to be going into Arcadia, which is the first legal Airbnb building in this area of Panama. And it's really important because this is the multinational area of Panama. Over 200 multinational companies, a lot of executives coming in and out, and they have nowhere to stay. There's one hotel, the Westin Hotel. It's always full. And so here's solution number 1, and we're going to go check it out right now.
Okay.
Excelente, gracias. Yo necesito, por favor, 603 1102 en 1801. 1, 2, 3.
1801 is available. Is not really closed now.
It's not closed?
No.
It's open. You should have told me you spoke English. You're making me sweat over here, brother. 294 to 311. No, these are already buy and move in. So it can be a studio, a 1-bedroom, or a 2-bedroom. I don't recommend the 2-bedroom. It's just a little too tight. Okay. But this developer builds a lot of their units so you can add rooms, you can change floor plans. Like, they're really smart about that. Oh, so we're on the 6th floor. We will start here. 70 square meters, and the one on the 18th floor is 76 square meters. So this is how they come, fully furnished, as you see in here. If you wanted to make it a 1-bedroom, this unit would be hard to make a 2-bedroom. The 76, you could. Again, I don't recommend it. But for a 1-bedroom, you put the door here and the wall goes here.
Yeah, that would be very easy.
It's $2,500. The developer does it for you.
Oh, wow, nice.
So makes it super simple. You do have a full bathroom over here. Again, if you were to make a 2nd bedroom, it would be here. The door would go in there. But the living room gets really tight.
Yeah. So you have 2 bathrooms in here?
You do. No, this is a full.
This is the bathroom, gotcha.
No, you have another full bath over here too. Yes. But again, as you can see on the 6th floor, the difference of $14,000 will get you an incredible view of the ocean here. You can still see the islands, you can still see the ocean. I see the boats waiting to go through the canal. A lot of them are parked waiting for their next job. That, obviously, people waiting their turn, people waiting for money to move, or supplies. Again, really high-end materials. This, you can used for different different purposes. Linen closet, food storage. The washer and dryer go over here, just on the inside of the front door. Shoot, I got a huge kitchen. I never cook. That's why I make a magazine about the restaurants. I gave up, you know. It's like, hey, cooking's not my forte. I'll just let the restaurants make. I mean, this country is full of amazing restaurants.
So what would be
The ROIs, they're looking at around 9% conservatively. 70 square meters is how many square feet? It is 753 square feet.
753.474 square feet.
The reason that's there like that is it gives you the opportunity to put a wall here, which would then give the air conditioning for that bedroom. And if you were to close this in and make a second bedroom, that air conditioning would go to that second bedroom. They put it in because they got to give you the capabilities to do what they said that you can do.
Sure.
If it's open like this, that big one would be suffice for the whole room.
Yeah.
But again, for me, I would 100% put a wall here and make it a one bedroom. Maybe have a sofa bed or something, you know, depending on what you're looking to do. If you're looking to live here full time, you can live in this building. You do not have to rent it out. You know, it's not a requirement by any means. So some people are intending to live here full time because all of these buildings right here, these are 3 and 4 bedrooms. If you're coming here to retire and you just want to be living in Costa del Este because it's a beautiful place, it's the Miami of Panama, all the power lines are underground, there's great restaurants, it's very beautiful and safe. You don't need a 3-bedroom.
And I understand most of the homes and apartments here are bigger apartments, like 3 bedrooms.
And that's why they did this.
Right.
So this is the first of its kind. That's a smaller unit, generation tower. Those come as 1 bedrooms. And they don't have like a layout like this. They have a little bit more shape to them, so you can't really add another bedroom.
You mentioned that this was, you would expect mostly the companies that are based here in Costa del Este would be the renters of this.
Of course.
So
Huge part of your
also
market.
Assuming that there wouldn't be high periods and slow periods, it'd be, you know, a little bit more steady than.
Well, and we know that because this developer is also the largest hotel group in Panama.
So they can look at their own history.
And they own the hotel, the only hotel in Costa del Este.
Right.
And I can vouch for it because I'm trying to put my clients in that hotel all the time because they want to see, and it's like booked.
Right.
Okay.
So if you were a snowbird, come down for the winter, rent it all the rest, and be reasonably certain that, you know, you're not going to hit summer and it's totally dead, nobody's renting it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where this gives you that benefit, where in something in the beach towns like Coronado, you're, you know, depending on what time you want to use of the year you want to use it, snowbird means coming down right after
season.
Christmas,
Yeah.
high season.
Yeah.
So
High season, yeah.
would you make as much revenue as you expected? Maybe not, because you're going to want to use it in that period where most of your renters will be
Even
there.
if you drop to 6%, that would be fine.
But
You know,
have
That's a lot of it. 6% is about right on spot for Coronado.
9% or 6% doesn't sound like a lot to me.
That's good for
Are-
Panama.
But are you saying that the income generated from rentals would cover expenses and they're above that is a 6% profit? Or sorry, 9%? That
9%
is
net profit.
And so your HOA or your fees,
HOA,
and
your
taxes and
your management
everything
fees, your incidentals, your electricity, because you're not charging your clients if they're Airbnb the electricity.
of course.
You have to pay that, and then you know that's part of your expenditures. Toilet paper, paper towels. That's
And
basic.
renting 80% of the
I
time
think it's
for 8
70
months?
or 75%. I have to look at the exact number, and it's based also on the hotel rate of $125 a night, which again,
That's pretty low for here.
that's very low
So there'd
for, oh, you want a hotel room or you want a 1-bedroom apartment with a kitchen and a
be
laundry?
very conservative.
Very conservative.
Yeah, like I've seen a ton of YouTube videos. There's one guy that goes around the world and he buys places and they go through all the numbers, and it's rare to get over 7.8% or 8%. For the net. When he does it all, a lot of people will be like, okay, this is coming out at 4.2, too low. Not going to buy this one. And then he'll next.
And a lot of people, 6 and 8 is too low. For me, with Generation Tower, the private foundation I manage, that one I'm expecting 11 to 13. And not, again, just because of the multinationals, but because of medical tourism. The amount of people that are coming down from Canada because they can't get an MRI for a year or whatnot. I'm not Canadian. I don't know if it's just hearsay, if that's what they're saying, but that's what I hear, you know, like I can't get this service or I can't get this service. And I have clients that come down to look at real estate and they're like, oh, I can get my skin checked out? Yeah. Give them the number and they're like, they said they could see me today at 2 or 3. Like,
Is this one by the mall, John Hopkins affiliate also?
that's inside the town center mall. The second John Hopkins affiliate hospital. The first one, the original one, is in Punta Pacifica.
And you said another one was being built, but that's like 4 years away?
3 years away, Generation Tower.
It's down there, yeah.
Then they have in the city, right where you guys are staying, right behind, they have Seaside. They also have Uptown, our 2 new projects that are just about to break down on a great area of Panama City. I like it a lot. We're definitely looking at it as a group on a personal level. I like to recommend it to clients because the street is awesome. It's on Calle Uruguay, which used to be, when I first got here, all nightclubs and stuff. Now it's opening as like restaurants. It's starting to rejuvenate. And the reason it shut down was they went in, they gentrified the street. They put in walking paths. You know, they even have a line, you know, these tiles that, you know, people that are blind that give them that service. They put I mean, it's just gorgeous. They did a great job, put all the power lines underground. All of the ones I just mentioned are licensed with the Authority of Tourism. They have the legal Airbnb license. One of the big things you'll note, and this is part of that license, there's no balcony. You're not allowed to have a balcony on a hotel room.
Then is there like a rooftop?
Gorgeous
recreation
rooftop.
area?
3 rooftops, 3 levels to the social area.
Let's go.
But you'll see the difference in 6 meters. You could close this one bedroom, and another bedroom. Again, for me, it's a little too tight for a 2-bedroom.
Oh, absolutely.
Having, you know,
I would never do a 2-bedroom.
no. But a 1-bedroom makes a ton of sense here. Great view of Cerro Azul, the mountains.
Yeah, this is beautiful. 314 what this one was, or this is more than that?
311, 600.
311, so 312. And when you buy something here, the extra expenses, tax, and all that other stuff kicks it up to what, another 10%, 3%?
So the taxes, you're going to have property tax and land tax, but it's 1%. The sale price is the sale price, yeah. You're going to have some extra expenses with your attorney. At least the people I work with, I recommend it. Oh, so you do even have ocean view from this one. You just don't see the islands. You see a different part of the ocean. You might be able to see on a clear day, you might be able to see the Pearl Islands out there, but they're about 33 nautical miles. But this is a good viewpoint, actually. So yeah, you can see the town center mall. The John Hopkins Affiliate Hospital is on the back corner of that side. And so you have a bike and skate park. You have this jungle gym type thing right behind it. There's an amazing dog park. Now there's indoor go-karts in the mall. There's a movie theater. There's a bowling alley. Yeah, it's a lovely area. It really is. And it's got a lot of appreciation value built into it for you. Sauna, yeah, oh yeah, right here. It's got the squash court. Someone's in that sauna. Men's and women's bathrooms. There's actually great restaurants here.
Yeah.
We had a restaurant, lunch at this restaurant called Cielo. So amazing. New York style restaurant, gorgeous.
Looking north.
Amazing developer, great location.
Now we're looking west towards San Francisco and Panama City Central.
Yeah, I mean, the math is kind of almost a no-brainer. Really, I mean, if you have
and
enough money,
south towards the
you
ocean.
invest to get it going.
Well, especially if you're looking at there's a lot of unpredictability, so tax is not hard assets. And want to diversify a little bit. Give yourself residency in one country.
Okay, with all of that out of the way, what are the financials? I'm sure that's what you're wondering. That's certainly where my mind went even before he started talking. What's this cost and what's the deal here? So let me go through it because it's a little bit involved, although it's fairly simple when you finally get to it. Okay, so where is it? I think I mentioned it already, but it's behind the Waldorf Astoria. The Waldorf Astoria is on the 2nd Street beyond the water. Okay, right at the bay in Panama City, right downtown. And this is going to be sitting on the 3rd Street. And these are small blocks. So, I don't know, you're talking probably to get to the water, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. To actually see the water, you're probably talking 4 minutes. And depending on what floor you're on in this thing, you could have an oceanfront view, even though you're 3 blocks away, okay? Although you'd have to be on a pretty high floor for that. Anyway, so that's where it is. So it is like a super prime location, okay? Now, it's going to be completed somewhere around 2028 or 29, 3 years out roughly. So you're buying something 3 years in advance. As I mentioned, this is also going to be a rental unit, and they'll handle the rentals and everything for you when you're not there. So if you're a snowbird, then you're there when you want to be, and then you leave and they rent it. The projected ROI, the return on investment, is roughly 9%. Austin, he thinks it's going to be closer to 12 or 13%. But even in this day and age, 9% is a nice return, especially when somebody else is doing all the work. They're handling everything for you. And that's a big deal, especially when you're retired and you're old and you just don't want to be dealing with it. The prices start at $330,000. Now, that may or may not surprise you as a high number. I kind of thought it was sort of, okay, is that kind of high? But then I had already been looking at inside the U, but when we stayed at the U, we were in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was really nice. I thought, we're sitting there like, wow, I wonder how much these are to buy. And they're roughly $310,000, $320,000 for a used one. And nobody does any rental for you. This is a brand new apartment, okay? And you get to choose the stuff that's in it. You get to choose if you want a wall, if you want it to be a large studio, you want to turn it into a 2-bedroom, if you want to kind of scrimp a little bit on the space. I mean, the space overall is the same, but rooms are going to be smaller because you're putting in 2 walls, and all of that. And so you have options where something's already built, you don't. But the price is comparable to the same area is what I'm trying to get at. Now, so how's it work? First off, for the first year, okay, in other words, if you walked in there today and go, I want to buy it, what do they want? They want 10% down. So that would be $33,000, right? Am I doing the math right? Yeah, $33,000, boom. And that's the 10% down payment. 12 months later, it's another 10%. So that would be another $33,000, okay? So at the end of the 12-month period, you now have $66,000 into it. 12 months after that, it's another 10%, so there's another $33,000. So now 2 years into it, you've paid $99,000 for this $330,000 place. And one would assume in 2 years the price is going to be higher, so you're probably assuming, well, the best. You never know, though. And I'm not trying to be, super positive about it, but you'd assume you're probably up by maybe $30,000-$40,000 at this point. And you haven't even moved in and it's not even finished yet. It's still got some time to go. So then finally, when it's completed in 2028 or 29, you then have to put another 10% down and they hand you the keys. Okay, so that's 4 times $33,000. So that's 1,220, it's around 130,000 something. So you still owe, let's just say, another 200 grand on it. Here's the interesting part of this. They're going to cover the mortgage at whatever the rates are at that time. They might be high, they might be low. You might get lucky and it might be down to like 2% or 3% the way they were crazy for years. And they're going to carry the mortgage for you for 5 years. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but if you're a foreigner in Panama, it's even a local actually, but especially a foreigner, it's really difficult to get a mortgage in Panama if you're a foreigner. They're going to cover the mortgage. Now, it's only for 5 years. It's not for 25. If you're Canadian, that would be like, okay, that's normal because that's the way mortgages are in Canada. They're only 5 years, and then you have to renegotiate and do it over again. Same bank, different lender, whatever. Where in the U.S. it's 25 or 30 years. But anyway, you have a mortgage for 5 years. And at that point, hopefully 5 years down the road, because you've already got 120 some, 130 some in it already. You're going to be able to pay off that extra 200 grand and it's totally yours, and you're good to go. And from that point on, it's just your maintenance fees and gas, electric, internet, and that's your expenses. And you're in really good shape for retirement. So that's the financial part of this, which is pretty interesting. Again, if you have time to look forward, which we didn't have, but that would be a gamble of, again, not to be morbid, but I don't know 3 years from now if I'm going to be alive, because I'll be 80 then and, may or not be alive. I don't know. So that's what ruled us out. But if I was 62 or 65 and just at the beginning of retirement, I'd be like, well, okay, this is a really interesting thing to look at. And even more so, which I really thought, actually, it was Viv's idea, because she's going, wow, what if you're not retired yet? And maybe you're 60 years of age, you're going to retire at age 66. 3 years in, it's yours. It's now being rented. You're making money on it. It's paying the rest of itself off. And quite possibly, depending on how good how lucrative the rentals are, by the time that you're ready to retire in Panama and move in, let's just say that's when you're 67 or 68 years old, when you finally do pull the plug and totally go, the thing might be paid for. And all you've really put into it is 130 grand, your initial stake. So there's a lot of interesting things about this. Again, and I can't stress this enough. We're getting nothing for this. Nobody's paying for this. Nobody sponsored this. Austin just seemed to us a very nice guy, a very accommodating guy. He spent a lot of time with us. And I thought this whole idea was really an interesting thing to consider. I just thought this was like a totally alternative way of looking at a way of retiring in Panama. And you can do this in other countries too, but this was the first one we've actually seen in Panama like this, where you can enter a market for a third, really it's a third of the cost of the place, and then let the place itself pay for the rest. Pretty decent. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do so. Really appreciate it. Hit a like for this thing if you like this kind of stuff, financial stuff, as opposed to maybe some other things. And until the next video, thanks for watching.